Welcome to New England Dye here. You say to yourself, we're cooking. You might ask yourself though, why are we cooking when we actually make thermal pads here? We're cooking because I want to explain to you some of the concepts that actually transfer over to how thermal pads work. Olive oil, for example, serves as a thermal grease, which helps cook or brown the burgers with something called the Menard effect quicker. So we're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna heat up these pans for 3 minutes each. We're gonna cook separate burgers at the same measured amounts to find out which one browns quicker, with or without the oil. Soon you'll see that with the oil serving as a thermal grease for a thermal pad, that Menard effect is gonna happen a lot quicker with said oil than without it. As a reminder, these burgers are 93.7 fat to lean content. So without that said fat in there, we need something to help the thermal or heat transfer get into the burgers and create the intended effect. We're back here at the stove. We're gonna cook these burgers. The first burger, we're gonna let sizzle in the oil for 4 minutes. We're gonna remove the oil, let everything calm down, and we're gonna do it again. We're gonna see which burgers cook quicker or with a better browning with or without the oil. And we're also gonna see how dramatic the effect may be. We're back to the stove again. This is the second experiment. This time, there's no oil in the pan. However, we're gonna see if we get the same Menard effect that we did on the last burger. Let's give it a try. Here we go. We're done cooking. You can see we have two different types of experiments here. One with thermal grease and one without it. There's a stark difference between these two burgers. I see one burger that looks way more delicious than the other. This is the thermal grease, or the oil I'd go with every day of the week. This looks a little bit more bland to me. We're in the classroom now. I wanted to talk about a few of the things that happened while we were in the kitchen. As you may remember, we had two experiments. The first one, we put oil in the pan. The second one had no oil. We already saw the stark contrast that happened between the two burgers. With oil, it was a better Menard effect. Without oil, it was a worse Menard effect. It's set up to 90% of a surface doesn't make contact with the actual other surface it's contacting. For that reason, you need a thermal grease, or better yet, you need a thermal pad. As mentioned before, we use the thermal grease or the oil to make better contact with each burger. Without it, it doesn't work too well. Think about that the next time you're designing a microelectronic. You tell us, which burger would you rather have? This one or this one? The next time you're designing your electronics, think of New England Dye when it comes to thermal pads.